Just how talented they are. They have McDonald's All-Americans. They have future pros in every position. So I can't comment on their exact season, but I know they're very, very talented in every spot, and they have a very good coach.
Shaka smart teams. I know a lot of times they like to pressure a lot of people, but when you watch film of his team this season, what just kind of pops out to you on film?
Well, I think like all good coaches, he adjusts to the talent on the roster, and he's obviously has bigger guys than he had at VCU. And so they throw the ball in a lot more inside than he did in his past teams. And but I have a very high opinion of him as a coach. I don't know him that well. We're not friends or anything like that, but just watching his every game they played this season, and almost every game they played last year, I have a lot of respect for him as a coach.
The Big 12 road puzzle. What needs to happen for this team to be able to pick up their first Big 12 road win?
Well, I mean, anytime you play on the road, the first thing you have to do is you got to give yourself a chance. You can't beat yourself. Most common ways to beat yourself are, high turnover, lack of effort plays. So we know we're going to play extremely hard. We have to play well to give ourselves a chance to win on the road in the Big 12. Then we're going to just need guys to step up. You got to have some special performances to win on the road. We've said it over and over again. We're a good team, and we have 3 or 4 players show up in double figures. We're a good team, and we have 7 or 8 guys rebound the ball at a high rate. So more than anything, we're going to need contributions from everybody that plays in the game to have a chance to win the game.
Number 32, Shaq Clare, is really the only true veteran in their starting lineup. What have you seen out of him so far this year and the challenges he'll present for the front court for you guys?
He's one of the best big guys in all college basketball. He's a load down there. He can do a lot of things with skill level, scoring on both shoulders, both hands. They do a great job in their offense, getting him touches. And I think he's an underrated defensive player too, because he does a lot of good things with defensive rebounding, and he's a very important player for them. I've been watching him since he was in high school, and I'm happy for him that he's having a good year at Texas. Not looking forward to playing against him.
When it comes to defending him and Jarrett, is it kind of the same game plan with what y'all did at Baylor where Justin might front some of them, or what have y'all kind of toyed with in practice?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I know we're going to have to do a lot of different things. We can't play him vanilla. We can't play him the same way every time, but Texas has 2 of the best big guys, not only in the Big 12 but in college basketball, so it presents a lot of challenges for our defense. But no matter what we decide or no matter what we try to do, it's going to be team-based. We don't have one player on our roster that can guard either one of those guys one-on-one, so we're going to have to play great team basketball.
What updates do you have on Keenan right now?
Yeah, day-to-day. Chris said that he came up here yesterday on an off day and was moving around pretty good. I think he's in good spirits. Not sure if he's going to try to practice today or not, but it just remains to be day-to-day.
After you watched the LSU film from Saturday, what stuck out to you on film maybe that you didn't see first time in person?
I thought our guys did a good job playing against multiple defenses. LSU changed from zone to man within the flow of the game, and we had a lot of well-executed possessions where we flowed from zone offense to man offense. It was nice to see contributions from different players, 4 guys in double figures. It was another low turnover game for us, and I thought our guys played hard. Our backs were up against the wall on Saturday. Everybody knew that. It wasn't a secret. And I thought our guys really responded in a must-win type situation.
Here are the last maybe 2-3 games that your guys really seem to be maybe for the first time getting in a rhythm offensively on a more consistent basis every game?
No, I don't necessarily feel like that. I feel like we've played good offensive basketball for most of the season. There's been some nights, where maybe we fell in love with the jump shot a little bit too much, but it's like last game when those shots were going down in the first half, nobody was complaining. So it's like a fine line between, when you take jump shots and you miss them, everybody wants to talk about too many jump shots, but it's just part of the game. We've got some guys on our team that are really good shooters, and we work hard to get those guys shots. And some nights when they don't make them, we just have to find other ways to win the game. And that's what experienced teams do. Certainly when we get to the free throw line, we're a better team, but we also have really good shooters, so it's just that balance.
Just curious, do you or Chris ever feel any type of nostalgia or weird feeling just going back to a place like Austin where you guys have coached before and walking into the Frank Irwin Center?
Yeah, me personally, no, I haven't been back in a long time. You know, it'd probably be a pretty good question for Augie since he played there and coached there for 15 years. But me personally, it's just the next game on the schedule.
Coach, you seem to kind of have a slow start on the road. What are you going to do this week to try to, obviously not have that type of start in Texas or in Austin?
Yeah, so first of all, we showed the players. We showed the players how we got into a hole against Baylor and then basically played with them for 38 minutes. But those first 2 minutes really hurt us. We also showed positive reinforcement. At Richmond was a great road win for us earlier in the year against a team that's having a good season. We got off to a great start that day. So, most people associate good starts with making shots, but that's not it. It's much more than that. What we're looking for is high-quality possessions and then good defensive possessions where we play the game on our terms. And so more important than the scoreboard in the first couple minutes is how we dictate how we're going to play in that game. But with our players, we spend a lot of time, studying and trying to learn from the past. But at the same point, make sure that we understand this is a new game.
Just in a road environment, how do you like to dictate that? Do you like more to be on the defensive end or offensively? How do you kind of approach that?
Both for our team this year, because our defense this year starts with our offense. We have to be a team that, controls tempo with our offense and tries to have low turnover games and take good quality shots because that gives us a chance to get back and play defense. Where we've gotten ourselves in the most problems this year is when we get sped up. So this will be a real challenge against Texas because they have, even though they have the two big guys inside, they also have the ability to really get the game going with Shaka's style of play and stuff. So, we got to do well on both ends to get off to a good start.
But no matter what type of Texas team you're facing, whether they're 18-0 or having a down year, is there a certain edge or intensity that you take into a place like Austin, playing an in-state rival?
Well, I think in college basketball, rivalries are great. I think in the history of this series and recent history between Texas and Texas Tech, we've got to do a better job of making it a rivalry. And to do that, we got to get to the point where we can be competitive in all games against everybody in the Big 12. But I understand that it's a big game for fans and stuff like that. That's what makes college basketball cool, and that's what makes the Big 12 special because we have these opportunities against Oklahoma and Texas and TCU, among many other schools, Baylor. So basically you have, two Division I schools in the best conference in the country, in-state. We recruit a lot of the same players. So, yeah, absolutely, it's a special game. To me, as a competitor and as a coach, it's no different. But I understand what goes into games like this, and I embrace that. I don't hide from it because it's what makes college sports, cool.
Last thought on the Big 12 SEC Challenge ended in a 5-5 tie. Would you just think that kind of spoke to the competitiveness of both leagues?
Yeah, I really haven't watched any of the games. I've watched Texas, Georgia, obviously, but I didn't watch any of the other ones. But, you don't have to tell me how good the Big 12 is. I live it. And then I have a lot of respect for the SEC too. But I thought it was a great day for college basketball. I thought it was well scheduled and planned, even though from our standpoint, being in the Big 12 grind, it wasn't easy. But it was just cool to see that, in my understanding, there wasn't much going on nationally in the world of sports. And it's like this select Saturday, and I know there was a lot of excitement from fans and stuff. And anything that's good for the Big 12, I'm all for.